I love Germany to win the Euros on home soil at plus 550, and here's why. The last two international tournaments for Germany have been a complete disaster. They got knocked out in the round of 16 at the last Euros by England and failed to make it out of the group stage at the 2022 World Cup. But they have now brought on Julian Nagelsmann as their manager, who is going to be the best tactical manager in this entire tournament. The reason he is so good is his adaptability. He will use so many different build-up structures for Germany depending on the opponent they want to face. He allows his team to play in transition. He's not rigid into one type of system. And Germany is incredibly good at dominating the middle of the pitch and building out through there. But not only that, the last few World Cups, Germany's defense has been their Achilles heel. Under Hansi Flick, they were pressing too aggressively, playing a high line, and it cost them. Under Nagelsmann, they'll be playing more of a mid-block. They'll be playing a little more conservatively. And the way that they are set up, they have an outstanding center back pairing in Rudiger and Jonathan Tah, who can build out of the back, who are great at winning balls in the air and winning duels on the ground. So Germany is going to be a very difficult team to face. But most of all, when you're betting outrights, you have to see what is the most likely path to each team to make the final. If England and France win their groups and Germany wins Group A, France and England are going to be on the same side of the bracket, and Germany is going to be all by themselves. They'll potentially face Spain in the quarterfinals, who they outplayed at the World Cup, and then potentially Portugal, who has not been tested yet throughout qualifying, and maybe not even in this tournament to the point when they get to the semifinals. So at plus 550, with home field advantage, which is so crucial in these type of international tournaments, as we already saw in January, with the Ivory Coast winning the Africa Cup of Nations on home soil and Qatar winning the Asian Cup on their home soil as well, I think Germany should be priced closer to where France is at 4-1. So I love the Germans to take home the Euros on home soil at plus 550. My favorite long shot to win the Euros is Austria at 80-1. I think a lot of people will write them off because they're going to be without two of their best players, David Alaba and Xavier Schlager, but they actually have a lot of depth at those two positions, so the drop-off will not be as drastic. But they are set up really well to be an underdog because typically underdogs are not going to have much of the ball, and Austria is a great team out of possession. Ralf Rangnick is essentially the founder, or we want to say the godfather, of the modern German pressing system, and he has Austria playing his system to an absolute T. Austria led Euro qualifiers in dual win rate, which at the basic level of football, ignoring all tactics, the team that wins the most duels is generally the team that has a better chance of winning. And Austria has outstanding ball winning in the middle of the pitch and on their back line. But their press is going to give teams a lot of problems. They utilize their press to create easy transition opportunities for them to eventually create a big scoring chance. During qualifying, they were in a group with both Belgium and Sweden and had over a +1 expected goal differential per 90 minutes. If you look at their potential path, if they can finish second in Group D, which they are absolutely capable of doing, they'll get to face the second place team in Group E, which is the worst group in this entire tournament, and then potentially Portugal, who has not been tested or has not faced a team that's going to press the way that Austria is going to. So Austria generally has a pretty good path to get to the semifinals for a matchup with most likely Germany, who they beat in a friendly in 2023. So for my favorite long shot, I think Austria is set up perfectly here at 80-1. I love Romelu Lukaku to win the Golden Boot at 20-1, and here's why. Lukaku led everybody in qualifying, scoring 14 goals and only 6.690s. But most importantly, he's getting elite level shot production at 4.4 shots per 90. Football can be a simple game sometimes. Sometimes you just got to get the ball to your best player, and that's exactly what Belgium tries to do. Whether it's Lukaku making runs off the back line, finding him as an aerial threat in the box with his great heading ability, having him pin defenders in the half space and rolling off them to create a chance. No matter what it is, Belgium is trying to get Lukaku the ball. And the group that he's going to be in, he's going to have ample opportunity to score a ton of goals. He's going to be playing Romania, Slovakia, and Ukraine. What those three teams have in common is they were in the bottom 7 of this Euro field in terms of expected goals allowed during qualifying. And then if you look at Belgium's path, they have a pretty easy path to get to the quarterfinals. So there's 5 matches for Lukaku, who is averaging over 2 goals per 90, to rack up a ton of goals. The other aspect of this is that you really only need 5 or 6 goals to win this award. So with all those terrible defenses that he's going to be playing during the group stage, all he needs is a hat trick or a brace, and he is absolutely in the running here. So I think there's a ton of value on Lukaku at 20-1 to win the Golden Boot. I love Antoine Griezmann of France to lead the tournament in assists at 18-1. France is obviously one of the favorites in this tournament after making it to the finals of the World Cup, and they have all the talent in the world. But outside of Kylian Mbappe, their second most important player is Antoine Griezmann, and the role that he plays is so crucial for them. He's going to operate in the left half space, combining with Mbappe and Theo Hernandez, and that is where France really tends to thrive. They have a left side bias, obviously, because that's where Mbappe is. That's where they want to get the ball. Griezmann, during the World Cup, had 19 passes that led to a shot. That was the third most in the tournament. He had 3.6 expected assists. That was 1.5 more than anybody else in the World Cup. And I'll just say this, Mbappe is the favorite to win the Golden Boot. If he's going to, it's most likely going to be because of Antoine Griezmann. So at 18-1, I think Griezmann should be priced more towards being one of the favorites here rather than as the 5th or 6th guy down on the board. So I love Antoine Griezmann at 18-1 to lead the tournament in assists.